Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Saturday HOA Brunch, presented by Angius&Terry, LLP. Please sit back, relax, and join Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick for an hour of entertaining information about HOAs and HOA law.
Well, good morning, Sacramento, and it never fails. We're always here, the Saturday HOA Brunch, every Saturday live from the beautiful studios here at KTKZ AM 1380, The Answer. Right, Counselor?
Right. If it's 9:06 on Saturday, this must be the Saturday HOA Brunch.
Absolutely. And if you want to call, feel free to pick up the phone, 888-923-1380, 888-923-1380. If you want to throw a legal zinger at Counselor Brad Epstein regarding your community association. And you have a text line, so I know that you're just chomping at the bit.
I love the text line.
Get the number
out
out
there.
there.
Roll in. Text line, 916-747-4622. Call in with your questions or comments. What's the subject today, Mr. Broderick?
Important subject.
It is. It's the season. It's the season for member meetings.
What? Yep, member meetings.
That includes annual meetings, the special meetings, special member meetings, and we're going to go ahead and give some nice information that will educate our board members and managers. And aren't there board members to be? People are just dying to be board members out there.
You know, the lines just keep getting longer and longer. It's like Ellis Island now. Remember when everyone was coming over?
To come into the United States?
Yep, and they're just waiting, and they're just
It
punched their
varies,
ticket.
though, right? There are some associations that they can beg and plead, and no one will want to get on the board. Others, though, there are more than enough candidates. I am going to be assisting an association up in Vacaville with a contested election. There's two positions open for this board, right? 6 candidates. Now,
Jeez, this is almost as big as the old GOP, right?
Right, 17, right? What they saw is 17.
All right. And I don't want to get off topic here, but the election does lead up to the board members that are at the meetings. I actually saw a paid advertisement on social media. Board members had actually, for this large community up in the foothills, up in El Dorado Hills, one of the largest master plan communities, these guys are paying for their campaign advertisements via social media. Two guys teamed up, said, let's rebuild the community, let's make the community great again, and there's their ad on Facebook. So I see...
Yeah, I think there is a contrast between the larger associations and the smaller associations when it comes to candidates and how many candidates and how big the annual meetings are and the competition to be on the board and whether people even want to be on the board. The larger associations, I think that you get that spirit, right? That great spirit that we have right now in our nation, right? And the smaller associations, I think they're more peaceful or more reluctant to make a lot of waves. And probably it doesn't make a lot of sense to do a big campaign when you're only campaigning among 30 homeowners rather than, say, 3,000 homeowners, right?
Yeah, I don't see Bob Knight endorsing any board members in Indiana on the campaign trail, but it'd be fun if he endorsed us.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about the law, and also we're going to talk about different tips and hints to get people to, gosh darn, come to the annual meetings. I have some good stories about that, and I'm sure our listeners do too. We want to thank our listeners, as always. Again, you want to call in, it's 888-923-1380, 916-747-4622 is our text line.
Slogan of the week for me, if you don't volunteer, then don't complain. Because all the board members at these member meetings are volunteers. And all the members that show up in HARP never volunteer, and they complain. So I just wanted to get that out there.
All right, so that's sort of philosophical, because if you don't volunteer, then don't complain. So you're saying you have no right to complain if you're not going to be a part of a
committee, a board,
the board,
in the community.
anything in some way. Because it doesn't. I see your point. What you're basically saying is it doesn't cost you any money. It doesn't take much time, and it's your community. So if you can't sit there and throw bottles at the board if, in fact, you're not willing to go ahead and take an active role. All right,
exactly.
I got it.
The philosopher of HOAs. Okay, so member meetings. This is important stuff. You can find all of the law in the Davis-Sterling Act, correct? In regards to member meetings?
No!
Oh, what?
Everything about the member meetings is in the corporation code and the bylaws. So I do have a zinger for you in a little bit, but we're going to wait on that one. So let's get some law out on the table. All right. So the Davis-Sterling Act, that doesn't have requirements regarding member meetings. Everything is in the corporation code or the bylaws, interestingly enough, because the Davis-Sterling Act is chock full of information regarding board meetings in contrast. But when it comes to association law regarding member meetings, it's in the corporation code. Now, there are a couple of associations, maybe 1%, I would say, who are not incorporated. And I think associations should be incorporated if they are not. You get the added protections.
I set that up, though, like a softball. So if these...
Yeah, you did.
If people want to find the corporation's code, what would be the easiest outlet for them to find that information? If they wanted to look at all the corporation's code and...
It is so easy nowadays. You could go on our website, Angius&Terry website. It is so easy now, Jonathan. You could just type in Corporation Code California, Community Associations.
Google it.
And there will be about 20 different websites that will give you the real McCoy. Now,
excellent.
Our firm, we actually, like most attorneys, will have a paid subscription to an online service that has the up-to-date, to-the-minute laws. And it's dangerous for us attorneys to just be guessing that when we go online to some random website, people would laugh at us, that we don't have the up-to-date laws. So you have the up-to-date laws to these different online services, and we make sure we have that so we don't commit malpractice. All right, so one thing I want to talk about is the difference between board meetings and member meetings is that with board meetings, Jonathan, there is a required open forum period, either before the meeting or at the meetings. So you know what an open forum period is at a board meeting, right?
Members can come up and discuss certain issues and address the board and get on the mic, and they can stand on their soapbox and tell. I've been to board meetings where they just sit there and tell the board of directors that are doing an excellent job that they're doing everything wrong and that they can fix the problem. I've seen it. Open forums, you can go up there. But generally, good community association management companies and good boards of directors will set a policy, right? And they'll say, you know what, you can come up here with your little filibuster, but it's only going to last for 3 minutes, and then we're going to move on to the next person.
Right. So again, this is for board meetings. You have the open forum period. For member meetings, right? So member meetings, there is no open forum period. So the board meeting open forum period, that law is in the Davis-Sterling Act, Civil Code Section 4925, and it says as follows: a reasonable time limit for all members of the association to speak to the board or before meeting of the association shall be established by the board. Now think about that. This actually... You said, well, good managers and good board members, they will say no more than 3 minutes. Well, the law isn't 3 minutes, Jonathan. It's a reasonable time limit, and it shall be established by the board. So we always.
So I'm the community manager. I'm the board member. Yeah, hey, Mr. Epstein. We're just wondering, what do you think a reasonable time limit is for us to establish for our open forum for members to come up and give their spiel?
Yeah, 3 minutes does sound great.
Reasonable. All right, well, when we come back from break, we're going to get a couple of callers, right? We've got Battle of the Board Members is in full swing, the spring edition, and we're going to keep talking about member meetings and a little bit about annual meetings, Counselor?
Absolutely.
If your community association has a good relationship with their current management company, you can stop listening. However, if you are struggling with your current service provider, we'd love to talk with you to see if Omni Community Management would be a good fit. Transparency, education, communication, and trust are just 4 of the qualities that set Omni apart. This is Rolf Crocker, CEO of Omni. Call us at 916-965-8964. That's 916-965-8964. Online at omni-mgt.com. That's omni-mgt.com. Omni Community Management, your friend in the community association management industry for over 20 years.
Have you ever heard of the saying, a person's home is their castle? Of course you have. But sometimes a construction defect can turn your castle into a catastrophe. If this happens to you, you need proper and professional representation. You need Angius&Terry, LLP. For over 30 years, the attorneys at Angius&Terry have been effectively serving homeowners and community associations, recovering more than $500 million on behalf of their clients. Angius&Terry strives to ensure that your construction defect claims are prosecuted in an aggressive and cost-effective manner. Angius&Terry will also continue to work with homeowners and community associations after the construction defect claims are concluded to make sure that the money received from builders is spent wisely and that your interests are protected during the repair process. Don't let a construction defect turn your castle into a catastrophe. Call Angius&Terry LLP today at 916-567-1400. That's 916-567-1400. Online at angius-terry.com. Angius&Terry LLP. Professional Parking Enforcement, or PPE, was created to provide effective parking solutions for all types of parking issues. PPE focuses on parking problems of HOAs and can quickly eliminate these problems through their system of property inspection, violation updating, ticketing, and enforcement. Contact PPE today at 702-283-0628, online at ppenv.com. PPE, promoting harmony in HOAs through parking and compliance enforcement. We take time to understand your community's needs.
Silver Creek Association Management.
We solve small problems before they become big ones.
Silver Creek Association Management.
We help make your community a better place to live.
Silver Creek Association Management.
It's what we do, because an association is more than just a bunch of homes. It's a community of people. We work with you to make better communities so homeowners can enjoy better lives.
Silver Creek Association Management. Online at sc-manage.com. That's sc-manage.com.
This is AM 1380, The Answer.
You're listening to the Saturday HOA Brunch presented by Angius&Terry, LLP. And now your hosts, Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick on AM 1380, The Answer.
Go right to the guests.
Welcome back to the Saturday HOA Brunch, and our two contestants, our two board members, have called in, Jonathan. So why don't we talk with them?
Introduce them. Yeah, okay. So first, let's go to Ann. Ann, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Ann, where are you calling in from this morning?
I'm calling in from Northridge Estates in Fair Oaks, California.
Fair Oaks, California. Okay, and how long have you been a board member?
I think this is my third term.
Third term. Okay, and it's probably one of the most rewarding positions you've ever had, correct?
She laughs. I love it.
And you know what? It is rewarding in many, many aspects.
It is. It is.
Okay. All right. Would you like to introduce our other board member, counselor?
Yes, and welcome. Is it Diane?
Yes, Diane Weber.
Diane, welcome to the show. Diane, where are you calling from?
Actually, the same Northridge in Fair Oaks, California.
Oh, no, we have a real battle this time.
They're probably in the common area with the gloves up.
This is great. You guys, we don't want you to take it so seriously. Have a good time. I know when you get back to your next meeting, you're going to want to have bragging rights. It's going to be fun, you guys.
Question, though. How long has Diane been a board member?
Only 3 months.
3 months. So, see, I like this. We've got the rookie.
Yeah.
Right, just came out of spring training, right? The Omni Board Seminar a couple of weeks ago. And then versus the veteran.
So let me ask Diane, so do you have any previous experience on any other boards, any other associations?
I'm not on any other associations, boards and other organizations, yes.
Okay, excellent. Nonprofits or for profit?
A nonprofit.
Oh, fantastic. So that'll be interesting that you to see what information, knowledge, experience transfers on over to your community association board member duties. Okay, so you guys hang on. Listen to the law, because we'll have the Battle of the Board Members near the end of the show. And you know what, you guys, you can chime in anytime you want. If you think something that Jonathan says is incorrect, you can go ahead and say something. And so others, You can text us at 916-747-4622. And Jonathan, did you?
I got a text from a manager, not on the text line. But the question was, well, what if they have more than 3 minutes of content to say?
Yeah, so what do you think?
Tase them. Get rid of them. Drag them out in the alley.
I think that a special exception should be made. It is, in most cases, it shouldn't be taken so literally with the exact 3 minutes. But
did you say 3 minutes?
There needs to have some measure of reason, especially when you have you have a line of people. It's a controversial issue, and everyone's there at the board meeting.
Like, what color are we going to paint the mailboxes or something?
What?
Or no, that's a big discussion, though, right? When the community's going to do like a full repaint. And they come in with some different color schemes and some ideas.
Yeah.
People
Taste
get
different.
involved.
Oh, I've seen some big battles over paint colors. All right, so something that's I find very interesting is that the law provides that at member meetings. Okay, so let's define this. So a member meeting, Jonathan, is the meeting where all the members participate in the voting. Whereas a board meeting, only the board members participate in the voting, and the members can be there in the open session, and they could go ahead and watch, and they can go ahead and they can frown and smile, but they're really not allowed to comment except for the comment period. So there's a big contrast, because at a member meeting, which is typically the once a year, the annual meeting, or any special meetings like something controversial, well, in that case, all the members participate, but they're still run by the board of directors. The member meetings are run by the board of directors, and by law, the board of directors at a member meeting must run the member meeting with parliamentary procedure. That's a mouthful. What is parliamentary procedure, Jonathan? This is not my zinger, though.
Oh, man, I wish I would have brought those great handouts that we give at every trade show.
Those great handbooks.
They are.
Right.
It has a great graph in it, and it says, okay, this is the order and procedure. It's almost like a roadmap, right? And it's policy for when people can take action during a meeting or how to approve something. There's certain steps that have to be taken. So one person.
Well said. It is a set procedure in making decisions and running the meeting. Parliamentary procedure, the most popular one and the longest standing type of parliamentary procedure that most use and a lot of bylaws require to be used is
that's my zinger.
Robert's
Rules of Order.
That's right, Frank. Frank Jolly in our ear says that's Robert's Rules of Order.
That's before my time.
Right. It's been around for a couple hundred years and just passed down through the family. That is before your time.
I was so just in my own time machine back in time with the big mallet. And what are those little curly wigs that you'd see in the history books with all of the people, the judges wearing up on the
barristers?
That's it. So I was thinking maybe I ought to wear one
powdered
of those next
wigs.
week. Yep.
Wait, what did you just say? You're actually going to wear one?
I want to dress up at a parliamentary procedure day and walk around and pass out mallets.
You don't have a day for everything. I'm not sure they have parliamentary procedure day, but if they don't, they should. Okay. So, you're making our contestants laugh. I love it.
I want to soften the mood so that there's no tension in Northridge Estates.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not the law, but it's a big issue, and that is, how do we get owners to attend member meetings? How do we get them to attend the annual meetings?
You know what I think? Here's a good idea, and a lot of people might disagree. I think you got to make it festive. Maybe like a barbecue, or maybe serve food.
Powdered wigs.
Yeah.
Something entertaining.
That works sometimes.
Well, you've got the answer for us, so give it to us.
I don't have the answer, but I can tell you in my experience that typically this issue comes about because the association needs a vote. They either need a vote of the owners for a loan, or they need a vote of the owners to have a special assessment, right? Or a vote for a construction defect case claim. So different votes, and it's really hard to get the owners, or CC&R revisions. And the last couple CC&R revisions that I've assisted in, the board members have given out gifts. They would do a raffle. You send in your ballot, you get your ballot, non-board members, the ballot would go into a box, and they'd have different gifts. They gave out a little television, they gave out a month of assessment, a year of assessment, all kinds of a restaurant gift card.
Where does this come out of the community? Is this like a line item for the meeting that they have a budget for all the meetings throughout the year, and they can include these prizes in their reserve study? How does that work? Where do the funds
That's
come?
a technical question.
Well, no, but for the TV, I mean, that's money's
from
coming
the operating
costs?
expenses.
Okay.
Yeah, there is that controversial issue as to whether CC&R revisions, that dollar amount that they have to pay the attorney, which is generally around $6,000, whether that can be a reserve item. But typically, the raffle prizes are paid from operating expenses. You can't pay any amount, any expense from reserves unless it's to maintain, repair, replace, or litigation regarding those reserve components. Okay, so we're talking about member meetings. Who may attend member meetings, Jonathan? Who may attend member meetings?
The member meetings, anyone that lives in the community.
Anyone that lives in the community.
But they can't be the renters. They want the owners. The owners of the units.
I'm not sure you're correct, though.
Well,
I'm not sure you're correct.
Who is it? Anybody on the street that wants to go?
How about anyone that owns in the community?
That's what I just followed up with.
No.
I did. I think
Wait.
Ann and Diane would vouch for me. Didn't I say that anyone that owns in the community?
No. They're not going to vouch for you. Don't put them on the spot. You said anyone that lives in the community. Right? Isn't there a difference between living...
not renters, but owners of the units and communities?
Okay, well, we'll play back the tape at the end of the show. And if you want to listen to our show offline, right, or any old shows, what can they do, Jonathan?
They can go to our website. www.thesaturdayhoabrunch.com.
I think it's the only website with that name or even near that name. It's a unique name.
Oh, it shows up at the top of the search every time.
All right. What if a board of directors wants to, or the members want to allow non-members to attend a member meeting? Can they do that? Sure they can, right? They can. They can invite guests. You've been to member meetings yourself, and you're at associations. You were a representative of our law firm, and you've been there, guests, and also sometimes a spouse will not be on the deed. And typically, the members of the board members have no problem with someone who's not on the deed, but who's married to someone on the deed to attend, or parents or children of owners. It is completely up to the board of directors, because remember, what we have here is we have member meetings. They're run by the board of directors. They're with the parliamentary procedure. Arguably, with parliamentary procedure, a member who's not on the board, who's in the audience, can make different kinds of motions through parliamentary procedure, point of order, and that kind of thing. Now, what about renters? So you just say renters. Renters are not allowed to be at member meetings.
I think they can attend, but they really don't have any substance. They're not going to be able to vote or make a decision on behalf of the community. Their landlord, the owner of the unit, is going to be the one that ultimately makes a decision when it comes to a ballot for, like you had mentioned, construction defect litigation or a special assessment or a governing document revision. The landlord's vote is the only one that counts. But I can't see a board of directors saying, hey, you live in our community. If you're interested in coming and drinking a cup of coffee and watching our day-to-day business operations, I don't see many boards of directors excluding anyone that wants to be involved in protecting and enhancing the community's assets.
Right. So it's up to the members whether they want to go ahead and allow tenants. I know some communities, say in a number of them in Carmichael, where they're long-standing tenants, and they have some information that they could go ahead and they could contribute. They have information that they can give, such as what's really going on in the community. The annual meetings are typically the time for the community to come together as a community and to try and raise the spirits and to gain momentum on projects and to, in general, just come together, right?
Kickoff. It's like a kickoff party, right?
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about the court case where the court ruled non-member attorneys were prohibited to go to board meetings, and the bill that is progressing through the state.
And we're going to play Battle of the Board Members. We'll be back.
Have Having trouble understanding your community association's reserve study? Does your HOA's reserve study seem to be written in a strange language? Hi, I'm Robert Browning, owner of the Browning Reserve Group. At the Browning Reserve Group, we have been providing easy-to-understand reserve studies since 1999. We actually listen to our communities and help them plan for the future. Find us online at browningrg.com. That's browningrg.com, or toll free at 877-708-0600. That's 877-708-0600. Clarity from complexity. The Browning Reserve Group.
If you are a community association or manager, you know your banking relationship is vital to your success. At Sacramento Bank of Commerce, a division of Redding Bank of Commerce, our industry expertise and personal attention make that task a breeze. With our specialized banking, lockbox, online banking, and remote deposit capture, trips to the bank are no longer necessary. And Sacramento Bank of Commerce can help your communities with a loan to repair, replace, or upgrade the investment. For local decisions and in-house processing, get in touch with our team today. Call Sacramento Bank of Commerce at 916-772-0131. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Did you see the story about the Homeowners Association? I wonder what their residents think.
I don't know, but I love my condominium association. The place looks great and is well managed, and our property values are increasing.
Well, that's a good thing.
Community Associations Institute, CAI, has helped us build a great community. They have tools for safeguarding our investment, including education for our board and professional training for our manager. Just visit CAI at responsiblecommunities.com.
Okay, responsiblecommunities.com.
This is AM 1380, The Answer.
You're listening to the Saturday HOA Brunch presented by Angius&Terry, LLP. And now your hosts, Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick on AM 1380, The Answer.
We are back, and Frank really has that. What is that, Frank? The music that you're playing?
That's me playing a piano.
That's you playing a piano in the back. Great. I'm sure that our contestants greatly appreciate your skills as a pianist. So, we had this case, right? Right before the break, you kind of gave us this big cliffhanger.
Right. So this case came out in 2013, and what it provided is that, in general, non-member attorneys, they are prohibited from attending board meetings. So a owner can't just send their attorney and say, he's my attorney, he's going to sit in my place as a member in the audience at a board meeting. The court said no. It was up to the board of directors whether they wanted to allow non-member attorneys, and the case is SB Liberty versus Isla Verde. It's 2013. So, as you were saying in the break, that was the impetus for a bill, and this is by Wagner, AB 1720, and so this has been progressing through the legislature. And it was amended recently to remove attorney. Well, basically what it first said is attorneys can attend meetings, board meetings. And then the bill was amended sort of quickly without any publicity saying, oh, a member can have someone else attend a meeting on their behalf. And Jonathan, go ahead. So what happened next? This is pretty recent, and this is big breaking news on this bill, AB 1720.
Yes, the Wagner bill, if I recall, a lot of emails this week, but I remember reading this one whenever I get one that says, CLAC update, California Legislative Action Committee. So it sounds like with the grassroots lobbying and the
600
efforts,
letters
and the efforts of CAI, the Community Associations Institute, they were able to kind of put up a wall against this bill. I don't want to necessarily...
A wall?
I don't want to assume that
Are you saying that you want to build a wall?
No, I'm sorry. I've been watching a lot of CNN and stuff. No. But what I'm saying is I don't want to necessarily say it's completely dead because who knows what kind of hair Wagner's going to grow, and maybe he'll try to come back again with some revised bill. But they pretty much think the bill might be dead because of CLAC's efforts.
Right, so CLAC, the California Legislative Action Committee, this is the Community Association Institute lobbying arm, and what they state is, in particular, that as follows. You had the author ask for reconsideration, which means it'll get another vote as written in a future hearing with no testimony allowed. And Clack said, well, having received only 1 out of 7 votes in committee today, we think the bill is dead.
No support for Wagner is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
And I agree, because we had a guest on a few weeks ago and they changed the verbiage so it's not just an attorney but a person can come to the meetings, right?
Exactly.
And we thought, wow, people could bring their favorite magician or their favorite blackjack dealer or favorite bartender. I mean, it could get kind of out of control. And the other issue I think that community associations have with this bill is, well, how do you restructure the reserve studies to anticipate legal fees if every member now can get out the phone book and call up an attorney and have them come to the meeting? Because naturally, the association is going to want to protect itself, so they're going to have their attorney present, right?
That's right. It costs a lot of money. Okay, so now let's veer back to the law, because we are going to be asking our contestants some questions. And so there's a notice that's required for board meetings, which is that associations must give, which is 4 days. And for member meetings, it's 10 days. And however, in order for board owners to vote at a meeting with a written ballot, the ballot must be sent out 30 days before the meeting. So we have 10 days notice for the member meeting. 30 days is the necessary time that an association must send a ballot out to the owners. Now, on another point, back to members being allowed to speak at meetings, it is the law that, again, we'll review, that at a member meeting, right, there is no law saying how much time that owners must be given to speak.
Except you can put reasonable restrictions on the time.
I think so.
Yep.
I think so.
Or else, what are you going to have? 6, 7, 8 hour board meetings where there's a lot of people that come out in the community?
Right. And voting is done at meetings. And if a lot of the voting must be done through the secret written ballot. And if it's so that's all done through the U.S. mail. However, there still must be a meeting where the votes are. I'm sorry.
Is something coming through on the text line? You're getting awfully excited over there.
Oh, yes, we have a text. Let's see.
Hi, Brad, it's your mom. I love you.
Okay, this is a great question. So this question is, I would like to go to, if a person is thinking of buying a home at a development, then they're saying, well, I want to do my due diligence. Why can't I be able to go to a HOA meeting to see how things are run, to see if things are in order, and to see what the climate is there? Can I do this?
Interesting.
What do you think?
Well, I think that it would be a good idea for them possibly to track down the management company, maybe reach out to the community managers.
Well, they're going to know
if they can reach out to the board of
directors. How about
directors.
this? It's easier. Why don't they go to the owner that's selling them the unit and say, hey, I want to go to the meeting. I want to go to the board meeting.
Can I go with you?
I think this is a great idea. This person, that's a great question.
Well, do you think the owner needs to accompany them to the meeting?
Well, I think if the owner gets permission from the board, and I think that a lot of boards would say, sure.
So ultimately, yeah, they just need to get permission from the board to attend.
Right. So not exactly.
Good question.
That's the question.
Good
that's
question.
The answer. Right. Okay. So this notice that we talked about, 10 days notice that the association must give to the owners that there's going to be a member meeting. How must that be given? It doesn't have to be given personally. It can be given by U.S. mail.
Yes.
Okay. And also we have the issue of whether membership meetings must have an agenda, because we know board meetings must have an agenda.
It's got to be posted too.
It has to be sent out or posted, and the member meetings, they're not required to have an agenda, but they could have an agenda, and it's probably a good idea.
Well, that sound means we're going to go to break. And when we come back, it's game time. It's Battle of the Board Members with Ann and Diane. You ready, Counselor?
I think so.
All right, we'll be back.
Hi, I'm Morgan Fussell. My company, Broadband Agreements, negotiates cable television and broadband right of entry, access, and compensation agreements for your communities. At Broadband Agreements, we offer a free review of all agreements with a signed letter of authorization. Broadband Agreements will improve your community's income and or savings, or you don't pay us a dime. Visit us at broadbandagreements.com. That's broadbandagreements.com. Or call me, Morgan Fussell, directly at 916-939-5026. That's 916-939-5026. Broadband Agreements online at broadbandagreements.com or 916-939-5026.
The challenges presented by today's economy and rebounding housing market is forcing many homeowners association boards of directors to operate their HOAs more like a business. It's a balancing act of trying to stay solvent and still provide homeowners with quality amenities and services. One of the main challenges HOA boards are facing is attempting to recover unpaid HOA fees owed by delinquent homeowners. Collection efforts are often very time-consuming. If you want to get the HOA fees collection monkey off of your back, call ATC Assessment Collection Group. ATC is an attorney-supervised collection company, providing collection and foreclosure services to HOAs in both California and Nevada's most recognizable communities. Get back to what you actually volunteered to do as an HOA board member. Effectively oversee your community. Call ATC today at 916-641-1410. That's 916-641-1410. Online at atcacg.com. That's atcacg.com. ATC Assessment Collection Group. Professional Parking Enforcement, or PPE, was created to provide effective parking solutions for all types of parking issues. PPE focuses on parking problems of HOAs and can quickly eliminate these problems through their system of property inspection, violation updating, ticketing, and enforcement. Contact PPE today at 702-283-0628, online at ppenv.com. PPE, promoting harmony in HOAs through parking and compliance enforcement. We take time to understand your community's needs.
Silver Creek Association Management.
We solve small problems before they become big ones.
Silver Creek Association Management.
We help make your community a better place to live.
Silver Creek Association Management.
It's what we do, because an association is more than just a bunch of homes. It's a community of people. We work with you to make better communities so homeowners can enjoy better lives.
Silver Creek Association Management. Online at sc-manage.com. That's sc-manage.com.
News, opinion, insight. AM 1380, The Answer.
You're listening to the Saturday HOA Brunch presented by Angius&Terry, LLP. And now your hosts, Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick on AM 1380, The Answer.
Welcome back. And Ann, are you still there?
I am. This has been very enjoyable and learning a lot.
Oh, we're happy.
First time someone said that in almost 70 episodes.
Diane, are you still there?
I'm still here.
You ladies got some headbands and a couple of cups of water because it's going to get really
this is
hot and heavy.
This is always my favorite part of the show. So Battle of the Board Members, you guys, what it's going to be is it's going to be 3 rounds, 2 questions each. So first, we're going to flip a coin, and then it's going to be either Ann or Diane. They're going to go ahead, and they're going to each have a separate couple of questions. So the first couple of questions, we'll flip a coin, and Jonathan is flipping it.
Yep, call it in the air, Ann.
Heads.
Tails.
Tails. Okay, so Diane goes first, and Diane, I'll be asking you your questions. It'll be 2 questions, Diane, and then Ann, you just wait until your turn. So it'll be 2 questions to Diane, and then 2 questions to Ann, and back and forth for 3 rounds. And Jonathan, what will our contestants win?
I think we have some of the greatest prizes in radio because we let our contestants pick whatever gift card they want.
$100.
$100 for first place and $50 for second place. Pretty cool.
How's that sound, you guys? Pretty good?
Great.
Hey, we hold them hostage for 45 minutes. We got to give them something.
Exactly. It's so nice of them for participating. Diane. Okay, you guys, we have covered most of these questions, most of them. So it'll make it interesting. Now,
Okay.
Diane, you're up first. 2 questions. Are you ready, Diane?
I am.
Okay, so the first question is, voting by members may be done electronically.
I would say no.
You are correct. There's no electronic voting yet. And I would say that Jonathan, I'm thinking of a small exception to that one, because there are some voting by the members that doesn't have to abide by the election rules. But definitely that one is, it is, the answer in our quiz today is false. Diane, you got that one right. Question number 2. Proxies may not be used in lieu of a ballot for director elections. This is a tough one because we did not cover it today. Proxies. Yeah, absolutely. Proxies. So we know what proxies are. Those are the documents that someone signs and lets another member vote for them. Proxies may not be used instead of a ballot for a director election. They may not be used instead of a ballot for director elections. True or false, Diane?
I would agree.
You're right. Absolutely. Good job. They may not be. Now, what happens is owner can have a proxy pursuant to if the bylaws allow it, and they hand in the proxy to the inspector of election, who gives them a ballot.
Oh, I think I've participated in one of those before, inspector of elections, right?
Where you saw that in action, huh?
Yep.
All right. Okay. So, Jonathan, you and Ann are up.
Yeah, we plan on winning this thing today. Are you ready?
Right, Jonathan, I'm ready.
Competitive.
That's right. Northridge Estates, Battle of the Board Members Bowl. All right, Ann, take a deep breath. I think that I've rigged these questions just right so that you're going to sound like you know everything in the Davis-Sterling Act.
Oh, you're putting a lot of pressure on her now.
All right, Ann, are you ready for your first question? True or false? Boards may prohibit non-owners from attending membership meetings.
True.
Got it. All right, second question. Minutes do not have to be kept for membership meetings.
I would say that's false.
Got it.
That's correct.
2 for 2.
Yeah,
it's tied.
Right. So there must be minutes for all meetings. That's for Jonathan, for member meetings, for board meetings, for committee meetings. Need to have meeting minutes. It's tied up. Diane, you are up. Question number 1 in the second round. Notice of a membership meeting may be given 5 days before the meeting. Notice of a membership meeting may be given 5 days before the meeting. True or false?
False.
Correct. All right. Diane is 3 for 3. Question number 2. The law requires a member open forum period at annual meetings. The law requires a member open forum period at annual meetings. True or false?
Oh. Boy, I know I heard you saying that guests can attend, but I don't know that you had actually said that the law allows it. I would say yes.
You almost had it, so you missed that
She
one.
said yes.
It's false. It doesn't require it. It doesn't require it. It requires it for board meetings, and so she had it. I was just reading an article about how many times people are able to get it, are able to get the answer right if they just go with their gut. So that one is false. So she's 3 for 4. Jonathan and Ann, over to you.
Now in baseball, she'd be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
batting
750.
Now here comes my contestant, Ann. Are you still ready, Ann? Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Awesome. All right, so we've got your second round of questions.
Now, Jonathan, did you actually think that she would be walking away in the middle of the heated battle of the board members?
Well, it's brunch time. Maybe she stepped out for a mimosa or something. I don't know. Okay, so your second round set of questions. Tenants may be prohibited from attending membership meetings. You want me to repeat that one for you?
Tenants.
Okay. Tenants.
So renters. Yes, they can be prohibited.
True. Got it. Now, I think this is possibly one of those curveballs where we kind of glanced around it, but we didn't necessarily cover it. So be prepared, Ann. Proxies for director elections must be signed to be valid.
No. That would be false.
Counselor, I believe that
it must be signed.
True. Yeah,
it must be signed. So what's the
it's
score?
Still tied.
Is it tied?
It's still tied.
Okay, all right. It is still tied. Diane, on to you. So now we have made a late change in the game, and these are 2 3-question rounds.
We're allowed to do that.
We can do whatever we want. All right, Diane, question number 1. Notice of a membership meeting must always be provided personally. True or false? Correct. Number 2. Members are allowed to attend a teleconference meeting of the board if it is not an executive session meeting. Members are allowed to attend a teleconference meeting of the board if it is not an executive session meeting. That one is true. So they can. They can go ahead and they could dial in, and there could be a cell phone in the table, and the member can go ahead and do that. Number 3. Membership meetings may have an agenda. Membership meetings may have an agenda. True or false? True. That's it. Good job. 2 out of 3. Jonathan and Ann, over to you.
All right, Ann, are you ready for your 3 questions?
I am.
All right. First question. Even if voting is done entirely through the U.S. mail, a meeting still has to be held to count the votes.
True.
Got it. Second question. Members are allowed to speak at meetings, and no time limit may ever be set.
Well, reasonable time limits can be set.
True or false?
I would say false then, because you can set a reasonable time.
Got it.
Nice job.
Nice job. All right, last question. And this is for all the marbles, but no pressure.
All the marbles, but no pressure.
Associations must send ballots for a CC&R amendment at least 30 days before the meeting where voting is to take place. Let me repeat that. My voice is a little raspy. Battled the strep bug this week. So let me repeat that for you. Associations must send ballots for a CC&R amendment at least 30 days before the meeting where voting is to take place.
True.
Got it.
Okay, so who wins?
Ann.
Ann wins by 1, right?
She did. But I'll tell you what, Diane is one heck of a competitor.
Absolutely. Great job, you guys. You're great. You're smart, intelligent, and really good sports. Thank you so much for joining us on Battle of the Board Members.
Yeah, I'll get a hold of you guys next week, and we'll get some gift cards sent out via U.S. mail. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, ladies. Have a great Saturday.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job by Ann and Diane at Northridge. Just a fantastic association.
And all the way down in
Oaks.
Southern California. Oh, Northridge here.
Yeah, you're thinking Southridge.
I was getting excited.
Right, so
like
our tiebreaker question, Jonathan, I'm going to ask you, and then I have the zinger still. Minutes must be available to the members 30 days after the meeting. True or false?
True.
That's right. Okay, so my zinger is this. So we have member meetings, and we have members attend, and the number of members that attend is dependent upon how many owners there are, right? And so there's a big member meeting, and that is the United Nations. The United Nations. And so we have a member for each country. Jonathan, how many nation members are there in the United Nations? How many? How many do you think? Real head scratcher.
You know
the look on your face
my
is
smartphone off. How many nations are in the United Nations?
How many nations?
I don't know. Hold on. Let me call Trump. He'll tell me. I don't know. Throw it out there. What is it?
You're not going to guess.
42.
192 in one count, 193 in another count.
There you go. See, I was way off. All right. Thanks for joining us. Anything else, Counselor, before we head out? I don't think so.
I don't think so.